2006 Mercedes R350 power steering reservoir is leaking power steering fluid. I'm Brian Eslick from How To Automotive, and I'm going to show you how to reseal that. To get started, we're going to remove the engine cover, so you're just going to grab it like this, lift up, and then pull out towards you and set aside. Next, we're going to grab the air snorkel right here on the driver's side, pull it, and then underneath you'll just wiggle it and pull it off. So on the reservoir here, there's an O-ring in the back that always goes bad and it causes the leak. A lot of people think it's the pump, but 90% of the time it's just the reservoir O-ring. So we're going to change that out. And we're going to get started by removing the cap. And I'm going to suck out as much of the fluid as I can. That way when we take it off, it doesn't drain all over the bottom of the shields and underneath the car, as much as I can get. To extract the fluid, here at the shop we use a pump. And then you pump the handle and it pumps the fluid out, or sucks the fluid out. But if you don't have this, you can use like a turkey baster, works just great. Okay, the next step is we need to remove this hose right here. And Mercedes has these clamps that you can actually reuse. And if you get a flat blade screwdriver right in here between it and twist it, it'll pop it open. Or you can get a hook tool like this one, and you can put it in between the clamp like this and give it a twist, and that'll pop it open too. So when they pop open, they'll look like that. And now what you can do is, I recommend you put a bucket underneath the car and possibly even take off the lower shield below, because some of the power steering fluid is going to drain down below and make a mess. So I would recommend you do that. And then you're going to slide the hose off and just tuck it out of your way for right now. Now that we got the hose off, on the back side here, there's a horseshoe clip. See if I can show you in here. And I already have a screwdriver in there. And you slide the screwdriver underneath it, and you give it the screwdriver a twist, and then you pop the clip out. And it's easy for the clip to fall, so be prepared for that. And as you can see, so I stuck the screwdriver in right here like this and stabbed it in the clip. Now I'm just going to pop it out. Once you get the clip out, it's going to look like this. And you're going to set that aside. So now we need to remove 3 T27 Torx bolts. There's one here. There's one inside the tube here. And then one right in between here. And you'll have to just flex the hose out of your way like this and get to it and remove all 3 of those. They're not going to come all the way out. They're just going to loosen up. Okay, once you get the 2 screws off, you're just going to pull the reservoir off just like that. And this is going to be the O-ring we're going to change, so we're going to peel that off. And it also may be stuck inside the reservoir, inside the inside here. So if you don't see it on here, then look for it here inside. Okay, before we change out the O-ring, what I'm going to do is use a little bit of brake clean like this and spray. Try not to spray directly into the pump, but spray around it and clean and get a little bit of this mess cleaned up before we reinstall the O-ring and the reservoir. Now we're going to reinstall the O-ring, and I'll put a link for this in the description of the video. Also, I'll put a link for any tools that I'm using in the video that I think you may need, and so look for those there. So you're just going to slide the O-ring over the port like that. Now before I put the reservoir back on, I'm going to clean this up too. I'm going to try not to get fluids or stuff on the inside. I'm just going to clean the outside perimeter of it and use rags and stuff and clean it up. After getting it all cleaned up, you can take it and line up the port like that and just push it on, and then re-secure your 3 bolts and just make them snug. You don't have to torque them down super tight. It's made out of plastic. Just snug them up. Now we're going to reinstall our horseshoe clip. You're just going to reach around back and line up the slots and reinstall it. And you may be able to just push it on with your fingers. They're usually pretty tight. If you can't, I'll show you a little trick. So after installing the clip into the groove like that, what you can do is take a long pry bar like this, and you put it right through here, and right on the edge of the clip. And what you're going to do is with your hand, you're going to smack it on the end. So you'll smack the end of the pry bar, and that'll pop the clip in. So now you're going to put the hose back on, and you can either reuse the original clamp, and the way these work is you have to use like a pair of side cutters and squeeze them together until this little hook hooks over the top of that right there. But I like to use the European style hose clamps and just put those on there. I trust those a little better. I'm always afraid that these may pop back off and the hose will pop off on you. So I always like to just upgrade the hose clamp there and install. Next, we're going to reinstall power steering fluid into the reservoir, and it takes Penderson's CHF 11S is the type of fluid that's recommended from Mercedes-Benz. So I'll leave a link for this in the description of the video also. So what I like to do is I like to fill up the reservoir until it's completely full, with the engine off, and then I'll start the car up, and what happens is the level will drop down. And then I use the cap. It has a dipstick on the cap. I'll use the cap to get the level right, and if it's too full, I'll suck some out, or if I need to add some, I'll just add a little bit. After getting the power steering to the proper level, you're going to reinstall the snorkel. So you'll just look from underneath and install the air snorkel like this. Then we're going to take the top cover here, and these little clips on the end here need to mount in these little holes here. So you'll stab those in first, like so. And once you get those stabbed in, you'll just rotate the top cover down until it clicks into place. And that'll complete the power steering reservoir reseal on a 2006 Mercedes R350. I'm Brian Eslick from How To Automotive. I'd like to thank you guys for watching my videos. Encourage you to subscribe. Invite you to head over to the howtoautomotive.com website for more valuable videos like this. And also to remind you that I will be linking up all the parts and tools that I use in this video in the description. Thank you again for watching.